Good morning and welcome to Muddy River Mornings. I'm Bob Goff.
And I'm Brittany Bowl.
Welcome back from our little holiday break.
It was a nice little break.
It was, yeah. It was great to be with family and friends, and now it's time to get back. Our first full week in like 3 weeks. I'm tired.
Well, we're just getting started, Bob.
I know, so come on. I'll drink a little more coffee. Got our coffee from Crazy Cakes, and what else do we have from Crazy Cakes?
Well, today we have, it's called the Executioner.
Ooh,
You like that name?
I do.
Okay, so what it is a smash burger. It's topped with an egg, bacon. It's served on a pretzel bun. And Crazy Cakes wants you to know when you're deciding where to eat, sometimes you just want to know that it'll be right. Whether it's breakfast or lunch before work, a meal that actually feels like a break, or something special you just don't want to have messed up, Crazy Cakes has it handled. And they're more than just a cake shop. They're obviously a breakfast place and a lunch place. And I just got my fill on my favorite thing, BLT, extra bacon, extra mayonnaise.
I'm really surprised the bacon is still on this.
I know. Well, I had my fill of bacon, like I just said.
You never have your fill of bacon, let's be honest. You eat bacon all day long.
I could.
24/7.
Today
Yes.
is January 9th, and the national day that it is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, a time to thank the men and women who put on the badge and make difficult decisions to keep our community safe. It also happens to be National Play God Day, Bob.
Okay, give it to me.
All right. I was waiting for you to say something.
I was waiting for you to say, isn't that every day for you, Bob?
Yeah,
That's what I was waiting for.
No, I was going to just tell you what it actually is. And it is a tongue-in-cheek observance rooted in a phrase that originated in the medical world, where doctors were once criticized for making life and death choices beyond human control. So these are two very different observances, but both tied to judgment that can carry some real weight. So we'll leave the life and death decisions to the professionals, and I think Bob and I are just going to stick to the news.
And thanks for to all of our all of our law enforcement people on National Law Enforcement Day as well. So, well, yeah, let's just go ahead and get into today's news.
In Quincy news, Quincy City Council has taken the first step toward a long-anticipated transformation of State Street, approving a measure that could eventually shift control of the busy roadway from IDOT to the city. If negotiations move forward, the change could pave the way for major improvements, including a center turn lane and new sidewalks or multi-use path aimed at easing congestion and improving safety for drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists alike. While the vote doesn't lock the city into the transfer, it authorizes city leaders to begin talks, marking the beginning of what officials say will be a complex but potential game-changing process for one of Quincy's most heavily traveled corridors. For the full city council story, including the $200,000 federal grant that was awarded to Quincy, along with the now viral Hatch haircut, visit our website.
Also in Quincy news, city leaders are looking at zoning changes to help ease the local housing crunch. At a recent strategic task force subcommittee meeting, they were looking at updating the city's outdated land use zoning plan, reducing parking requirements for multifamily homes, and allowing single-family houses to be split into 2 units to encourage more development. Officials say these changes, along with better data on vacant and deteriorating properties, could make it easier to build and preserve housing in our community.
In Hannibal City Council news, Tuesday's meeting wrapped up in about 10 minutes and resulted in a string of unanimous votes on building code updates and tourism bureau measures. And in other Hannibal news, First Bite opened Wednesday on Stardust Drive, owned by Millie and Ali Ismaili, the family behind the Shilbina family restaurant. And they are now serving up a full breakfast and lunch menu, from hearty hash brown skillets and sandwiches to Italian segafredo. Did I say that right? Segafredo coffee. That sounds good. That's already giving the locals a new reason to stop in. You can read more on both of those Hannibal stories right now on muddyrivernews.com.
In the ongoing case over a September shooting near 8th and Linden, Quincy, the defense for 21-year-old Dyrese Naff has filed a motion to dismiss charges after questioning a key witness's claim that she cannot testify due to a high-risk pregnancy. Prosecutors asked for a trial delay because the woman, one of the people wounded, reportedly can't appear in court, but the defense says evidence shows she was active, she was in town, and that medical records don't confirm she's unable to testify. The motion alleges the witness's absence has unfairly delayed Naff's right to a speedy trial. A hearing on the motion is set for January 23rd. Naff remains custody and maintains he acted in self-defense.
Benjamin Inman's brief taste of freedom came to a shocking end. Not so shocking. The Quincy man who pleaded guilty and was sentenced to probation for threatening a local alderman and his family is now back behind bars on a new and much more serious child pornography charge. Inman was arrested Wednesday afternoon at the Adams County Jail just one day after admitting to calling 7th Ward Alderman Jack Hochschlag with threats that rattled city leaders. The case has quickly become the talk of the community as questions swirl about how his situation escalated so rapidly from probation to now new felony charges.
And wrapping up on some good news, Johnwood Community College has announced that Erin Potter will be its next president. She was unanimously selected by the Board of Trustees. Potter brings years of experience in higher education and leadership, most recently serving as Vice President of Academic Services in Coffeyville, Kansas, and she says returning to the Tri-States is coming home. She's a Vandalia, Missouri native, attended Mark Twain High School, and also did her undergraduate college work at Culver Stockton College, where she also played softball. So she's very excited to work with students and faculty and the community to build on Johnwood's strengths and expand opportunities for local learners. This marks a hopeful new chapter for the college and the region, and we will give Dr. Potter our congratulations as well.
And then we're going to take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors. As always, Muddy River Mornings is driven by Hess Auto Agency. And then right after our commercial break, you'll get to hear from Erin Potter.
Since 1985, Hess Auto Agency has been your trusted source for pre-owned vehicles in the tri-state area. Families have experienced the Hess difference for generations and know they'll get the best vehicle buying experience in our region. With an ever-changing inventory, you'll find the right car at the right price. So when you want the best, don't guess. Choose Hess. Hess Auto Agency, 1124 North 24th in Quincy.
In the tri-state area, local businesses aren't just a place to shop. They are engraved into our community. Muddy River Engraving knows, lives, and models this business mentality.
Look how cute!
From getting gear for your team,
Those turned out nice, thank you.
to a custom gift for friends or family, Muddy River Engraving will take your idea or story and bring it to life with his products. From 1 to 1,000 items, Muddy River Engraving can handle any project for you. Muddy River Engraving, engraved into your community.
You can help.
Be a hero to the families.
You can be a hero to your community.
Justice is for everyone.
Hello, I'm Kelly Reif, nurse practitioner with Blessing Health. 'Tis the season for holiday gatherings for sniffles and sneezes, colds, and sore throats. It's cold and flu season. Our teams at the Express Clinics at Quincy and Pittsfield and the walk-in clinics at Blessing Hospital and Blessing Health Hannibal can help. We have convenient hours to meet your needs. Go to the website on your screen for the hours of the clinic in your area. In most cases, antibiotics will not help with cold and flu symptoms. Antibiotics kill bacteria, but most colds and flus are caused by viruses, which respond to rest and hydration. Still, seeking a medical opinion about your condition and what to do about it is a good idea, especially if illness gets worse or lasts a long time. Also, wash your hands frequently to help stay healthy and stay home if you don't feel well. Happy holidays.
Women are exceptional. In the workplace, in the home, in the community. We fill so many roles vital not only to our success, but also the success of those around us. We deserve health care that is as exceptional as we are. Blessing Health meets the varied needs of every woman, from OBGYN care and breast health to pediatrics for those of us who have little ones in our life. Blessing Health, with you every step of the way.
Well, it's going to be amazing to come back and be able to give back to the
communities that I grew up in, and be able to extenuate what they're already doing educationally from a transfer standpoint, but also workforce development. But to be able to come home and be able to recreate those relationships that may have been gone for a while, but to get to meet people again and get back in the community, I'm looking forward to that greatly. Well, I'm very thankful to the board and to the committee for this opportunity, because I had the opportunity to show my skill set, my vision, the things that are important to me from a standpoint of being a leader, but also just as a lifelong educator. And I think those skill sets will mesh well with what has already been going on this campus and the community. And I'm ready to take on that challenge to continue the success that John Wood's already had.
Ooh, could we get a glimmer into the vision?
The first thing my responsibility is to get to know my team and to get to know the folks that are around the Quincy area and also the campus. The staff and the faculty and my team are probably going to be my #1 priority when I hit campus, because they're already doing the work that's working for John Wood. And that is what was one of the exciting things of coming here, is there's so many amazing things already happening on this campus with programming, collaborations, and just being able to provide the academic needs of this community. That's going to be my #1 priority, so listen to them, be a part of that group, and to expand on their vision. Because this isn't about me, this is about our vision and what it is for our area, and that's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most. Well, I think the first thing is about the students. I want to know them. I'm an educator by heart. I have been my entire professional career, and so a student to me is anybody that's going to be a K through student all the way through a non-trad that's looking for a change in their world. And so it's about providing different opportunities and meeting the student where they are and coaching them up, giving them that confidence to gain that new skill set or that new opportunity they really want to see what they can do personally and professionally. So the students are my main priority. And then the community, of course, is also on that priority list to find out what they need. One of my things that that's very important and close to my heart is literacy. And one of the things I would love to see is to bring back the 1980 version of Saturday morning reading circles again and helping them. And I hope that those are some initiatives that we can help with the community, help grow our community and provide those skill sets and academic opportunities that help us be a cultural community that people go, oh, I want to be a part of that.
Ooh, it's official now.
There we go. Kind of scary official, right?
In this day and age, we hear so much that a college education just ain't worth it. Those jobs aren't out there. Okay, you're going to have to be the main seller, right, of the John Wood experience. Any ideas or strategies about that?
Well, I think the strategy's already started here with the K through 12 initiatives. I would really like to see us have opportunities that we provide for the K through 12 environment so that the students can start discovering what their pathways are. A lot of our students are going to be parents who are in the workforce or they're farmers, and so they are experiencing that life every day already. And by us providing some different opportunities for them to explore would be able to help them create their own pathways. I give you the example of a farm kid. They grew up in that environment their whole life. They probably already welded. But to be able to give them an off-season job of having a certificate in welding could also help support their families in different ways. So providing the business side of entrepreneurship for those type of students who may not look at farming as an entrepreneurial, but it really is. I've had colleagues that have lived on their farms, their siblings are still on their farm, they have no 401k. So educating these students that by getting an extra industrial certification can also expand their futures and their families' futures by just having that opportunity. So I do believe in the college education. I have my own, and so it is important to me. But I also think letting the students find who they want to be is more important than saying this has to be the only way you get there. And we have so many opportunities in programming at John Wood that we can probably take care of just about any needs you need.
Any strategies in particular to hold the line on tuition, yet provide the kind of resources the college needs to continue to advance its programs?
So first thing I'll have to do is rely on Josh a lot. I'm going to have to dig into the budget and understand how Illinois allocates their funding for us. And so that will be my first priority. One of the first is to learn the budget, understand the budget. Tuition is a very funny thing, and how each college decides to set up their tuition or tuition fee, separate them. It will be one of my first opportunities to really look at that and get that done. The idea is to be able to check to see how state funding affects our ability to stay flat on tuition rates, or whether or not we can raise or lower them. And that will depend on the state as well.
Do you and the board like the current student enrollment levels, or would you like to see an expansion?
Well, I don't know their view on that, but I know every board wants more students. It's just natural. The type of students that we have will be probably one of the first things that I consult the team with. Where are students coming from? Because, and I'll give an example, you can only grow as much as you have space for. So we really have to do an ROI and really figure out what are we providing, how is our space and our staff being able to handle those things. So absolutely, everybody wants growth. Everybody wants growth. But in reality, we really have to put some numbers to it and look and see where we can do through program review, where we can expand some programs, where do we have growth opportunities on the different locations that we have as extended campuses.
And in terms of the pie of all John Wood offers, do you set certain percentages or certain slices for athletics, extracurriculars versus academics?
It's about the student, and the student's in the middle of that pie. And that's the most important thing, is what do our students need and what are their wants and where are they growing at in those pieces. So to me, it's a balance of all because it's centered on the student.
You're kind of back to school studying now.
I am, and I love that. I love data, I love what it gives me, and I think it gives a story, and it allows you to expand on a new chapter for an institution, and I think that there's so many opportunities for different volumes here because of the different community involvement versus the athletics versus co-curricular versus transfer versus your workforce. There's so many cool chapters that can be offered here that we're going to work really hard on expanding that, but also helping meet the needs of what our community needs. I've missed autumn. I have missed autumn being in the South, so I'm glad to be home.
If you're 55 or older and ready for quality, independent living, Good Samaritan Home of Quincy is your first choice. We are constructing new duplexes and single-unit cottages ready for you. Prepay your lease now and customize your future cottage. Say goodbye to the hassles of yard work, snow removal, and home maintenance, and say hello to stress-free, independent living. There is limited availability, so call Good Samaritan Home today at 223-8717 or see for yourself at gshq.org.
It's important as a community that we come together and we help solve crimes and that we help give a sense of safety and security within our community.
And welcome back. Like I said, it was our first full week back to work in quite some time, and we had a full slate of shows once again.
We did. And if you've missed the latest Muddy TV Monday drop, don't worry because it lives forever on our Muddy TV site. I know this because I was doing a little Muddy TV research myself. This week's drop was our monthly episode of Muddy River Gems, brought to you by Dot Foods. This time, Mark McDonald and Randy Phillips take you to Jacksonville to explore the old Illinois Theater. Between some state grants and the help of the Jacksonville Council of Arts, it's getting a facelift, and you get to see the plans.
Randy, did you go to Leo's Pizza while you were in Jacksonville?
Didn't make it, sorry.
Make sure you get there sometime. On this week's Minutes with the Mayor, brought to you by Mercantile Bank, Mayor Moore joined Ashley with City Attorney Bruce Alford, Corporation Counsel actually, joined the round table, and they broke down the annual budget, how it's expected to have all those puzzle pieces fit together. They'll present to the council on 4/20, Brittany's favorite holiday. And then Bruce explains the Fix or Flatten program, how it works, and what the future holds. Mayor Moore said government processes tend to be confusing for a reason, so that's why they come in and help kind of clear things up.
Later today on Club Muddy, the crew reunites after a well-earned winter break for what might be a full-circle memory-making moment. For the first episode of 2026, we're welcoming back the very first guest who ever joined Club Muddy Roundtable, returning once again to kick off the new year. We're not revealing who it is just yet, but here's a hint. He's widely known as one of the most logical, informed, and consistently thoughtful Facebook commenters of our time. Do you remember who it is? Join us later today to find out.
One more hint about our guest. He's a very disappointed Alabama football fan. On this
You
week's
just threw it!
On this week's Business Spotlight, brought to you by Bank of Springfield, Ron Kincher sits down with Mary Hoffman, the owner of Dragonfly Mobile Detailing. Mary's putting a fresh spin on auto detailing with a business model built around convenience. She brings the shine right to you. They talk about how the mobile approach works, what sets Dragonfly apart, and how Mary turned a hands-on service into a growing local business on wheels. It's a great look at innovation, hustle, and meeting customers where they are. Literally, once again, we want to thank Bank of Springfield for sponsoring our Business Spotlight.
It was a full and meaningful week on this week's Daily Muddies. Miss Quincy director Lindsay Hess and Lily Brown, the Miss Illinois teen, stopped by to talk about the Miss Quincy stage and what contestants can expect. We also welcome Leslie Haslam and Bruce Moschwing from the River Eagle Council to preview the upcoming Eagle Days and the Powwow Winter Gathering. On Wednesday, Elizabeth Manhart joined us to talk about Pride and Prejudice auditions at the Quincy Museum, with a special call for male actors ready to step into the spotlight. Ashley then sat down with Catherine Meckes and Bailey Dusterhouse from the Community Foundation to discuss scholarship opportunities, followed by DOB from the Better Business Bureau sharing New Year Scam Smart Resolutions. The week wrapped up with a powerful and difficult conversation titled Surviving Domestic Violence, as Lisa Griffith of Hannibal, the mother of the murdered victim Emily Traynor, and Della Myers, a domestic violence survivor and advocate, discussed a proposed domestic violence registry in Missouri modeled after one that took effect in Tennessee on January 1st. It was an important conversation handled with care and compassion by Ashley, my bestie.
And also this week, we want to talk a little bit more about how we are getting into sports and basketball season. The Mud Brothers podcast is coming up. It's a great one. They're talking about basketball, and these guys picked their fantasy basketball players for their high school team, so that'll be a lot of fun. And speaking of basketball, what's next?
It's time for sports, brought to you by Neiman's.
Well, happy Friday, Muddy Buddies. Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Shuckman, Sports Director Chris Dewar. Yes, we're hanging out in the truck. It's raining today.
And we got all gussied up for this one, clearly.
Yeah. Sacramento Kings?
Yeah, I was representing at the gym this morning, hoping somebody would make fun of me, but fortunately I was spared.
Yeah, well, it's good that we're out and about. It's been a nice January for the first week of January.
Great start.
Great weather, great basketball, and we got a lot going on this weekend.
We do. It's, I think I touched on it in Durisms that January might be the most underrated sports month on the calendar.
Would agree.
Just because we have so many good things going on, wrestling tournaments, basketball tournaments. We have some really interesting college basketball for the first time in a long time.
We do.
Particularly on the girls' side?
Yeah.
Or the women's side,
the women's
more
side,
accurately.
At multiple levels.
Yes.
You know, obviously, we talked, I did a Shuck on a Truck this week with Mina Castro of WIU.
What an awesome young lady she is.
Fantastic, delightful interview. Can't thank her enough for doing that. But we had, they're 11-2 going into this weekend's play. Culver's on a good run right now. We've seen some good things out of Quincy University. So yeah, the women's basketball level, and And we've got Abby Schreck playing at Mizzou.
We do.
And she's starting for the Tigers. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things on the college basketball scene to talk about, especially the women's side.
Which is nice because this time of year, people start getting a little, tired of hearing the same stories over and over.
Yes.
So, the challenge for us is to try to find new and interesting things. And I think we've got a lot of that on tap for us this weekend.
We do.
That's why some of the shootouts come along to give us unique matchups. And we're going to start doing that in earnest. I know we've got the Sophie coming up this weekend down at Columbia.
Right.
Or Quincy High School. We've got the Winchester Invitational on the boys' side getting started. One of the best fields they've had, that top 4, Matt Shuckman, Route Catholic, Staunton. You've got Calhoun, although I'm to understand that Calhoun is really flu-addled right now going into things. Yeah, they actually canceled their game on Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with Payson, just because the flu's hit them so hard. And Brown County's the 4 seed. When Brown County's your 4 seed, that's a loaded tournament. So that gets started on Saturday, wall-to-wall basketball from 9 to 9.
Wow, that's crazy. You're going to be over there Saturday morning to catch some of those highlights.
Yes, we've got a bunch of our local teams playing on the morning side this year.
So you'll get there. We've got some wrestling going on. The Q&D Invitational this weekend.
Which they've moved up.
They did. So that'll be going on all day Saturday at the Pit. We had some good wrestling this week at Quincy High School. You had Quincy High School, Quincy Notre Dame, Pittsfield, and Payson all wrestling. And we saw a couple of milestone moments.
Which is always fun in wrestling.
So Brady Laird became the all-time winningest wrestler in Quincy Notre Dame history.
Yeah, and stole it away from a family member.
Yeah, took it from his uncle, Daniel Uritis, who was there on the bench. He's an assistant coach.
Oh, very cool.
Along with Daniel's dad, Don. So grandpa, uncle, nephew, grandson, all there.
Does it get any cooler than that?
It was fun to be there and talk to them about that. But yeah, we got a lot going on next week. We've got, a lot more basketball, but then we got to get geared up. We got some big shootouts coming up here in the near future. The Quincy shootout taking place here at the end of January. And then we have the Muddy River Sports Pizza Ranch Superfan shootout coming up the first full weekend in February.
Which is going to garner a ton of our attention, yes.
So, yeah, we got a lot going on. We will be back doing the Outfit Accessories QU Round Ball review starting this weekend. Obviously, started last night on Thursday with QU at home again. But
critical weekend right here.
Huge weekend.
QU, yes.
Huge weekend. So a lot, again, we've got a lot going on. The Show Me Spotlight brought to you by Airco will be debuting soon. We're going to be spotlighting student athletes from the Missouri side of our coverage area. He's going to be doing video projects on each one of those.
Telling their unique stories, some things that are kind of outside the mainstream that we don't get to talk about a lot. Got some really interesting stories, not just basketball and wrestling, but swimming as well, coming on the immediate horizon from west of the Mississippi. So that'll be a fun storytelling opportunity, and that's kind of what we love to do. So
yeah, and we want to thank everybody for paying attention to and viewing our 25 of 25 series brought to you by Prairie Land FS Incorporated. It was a lot of fun. I had people talk to me last night or this weekend when I was out at wrestling about people we may have missed on our list, those type of things. He's got an additional list on this week's Duerisms, so make sure you check that out, things that he covered that I did not cover for the most part. So, it was a lot of fun, and now we have to come up with a new project.
We do, and if you like what we're doing, do us a favor and just kind of give the Muddy River sites on your socials a follow.
Yeah.
I know you follow Chuck, you follow me, you follow us both, whatever, but give the Muddy River sites a follow just to kind of reinforce some of that stuff and allow us to show our sponsors and our patrons just how much this thing is growing with all of your support.
Well, we're having a lot of fun doing this.
We are.
And we got to gas up the vehicles because we got a big weekend ahead of us.
We do, but it's a fun weekend. And again, I think it's one of the not just underrated months, but underrated weekends with everything that goes on. Yep. And it just kind of snowballs from here. You've got, obviously the Highland tournament wrapping up, the Clopton tournament wrapping up. Yep. And that's kind of your official ramp in because before we blink and we're done, it's going to be the postseason in high school basketball already.
High school wrestling postseason, I was looking at that this week, kind of mapping out where our teams go and all that. January 31st is wrestling regionals.
Boy, that seems early.
It does, but it's going to be here. It's going to be on top of us before we know it.
That's actually before the Superfan Shootout, which has never been the case in all of my years of doing this. That's insane.
Yeah, so we got a lot to look forward to and a lot to get to soon. So make sure you check out MuddyRiverSports.com. Follow us on the socials. And we'll be right here. We'll be back on Monday night with Monday Night Lights, powered by Farm and Home Supply. And we'll be here all next week, providing you coverage of everything we possibly can.
Can't wait.
Have a great weekend.
Neiman's, your neighborhood market.
So we're sitting here and we haven't had much snow lately. It's a little on the warm side. Had a lot of rain yesterday, but we might see some snow this weekend. Maybe, possibly.
Yay.
I guess, yeah. I'd like a little more snow. I just don't think we got enough this year.
All right.
All right, how's the weather up there from our friends at Farm and Home Supply.
Anyway.
All right, ready for the first joke of the year?
First joke. I've been waiting for this one.
You got a doozy.
A doozy. Okay.
So, Brent, where does a cloud go to the bathroom?
Ooh.
Little potty humor for you.
Yeah, okay.
Anywhere at once.
Yeah.
Rain. Get it?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm whiskeyologist Nathaniel Jones. This is meteorologist Brent Clare.
It's too early in the year for that.
Oh, no, every time of the year. So this is your weekend forecast. First one of 2026.
Yes.
And doesn't necessarily feel like winter right now, but you said that there's a chance this weekend where it might.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Yeah. Very slim chance, but still something that we're always watching. So, but we got to get through today first. Today, actually kind of an interesting setup today because there's enough warmth. You know, it's actually pretty mild out this morning as we came in. And maybe 60 by the end of today. And with enough ingredients around, the system that will be coming through about noon to 4 will be about the biggest time for the rainfall. I don't think we're going to get the severe weather. We might hear some thunder every now and then, maybe a little bit of wind, very little, I mean, a little wind, not big. But the farther south you go, you can see some bigger storms. And when I say south, I mean like southern Illinois and Kentucky and Arkansas. So,
but do you imagine it being a prolonged system with a lot of rain, or is it going to be spotty?
No, it will be a widespread rainfall, but only last a few hours. So the first wave will come in around 12 and 1, and that's the biggest one. And if you look at it on the models and radar, it's like, most of all southern Iowa and northern Missouri, just this huge blob that comes across. And then another round about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, where that cold front will come through. So it would be a 2-pass, and I think the heavier rain will be in the first wave, the more chances for quote unquote severe storms will be in the second wave for us. Farther you get into Illinois, closer to Indiana, they stand a chance to see that squall line kick in later this evening. So again, you can have storms like this in January. It's not uncommon to. But one of the funny things was a couple of days ago, kind of switching topics here, that I was trying to figure out back in the 80s how I had these vivid memories of just snow. And I started looking at the data, and there really wasn't that much snow on the ground, in the latter part of the 80s. You might have those big snows that happened, and then they were gone. But as far as, snow depth throughout the year, it really is not. So, I'm slowly going back to more years, and it's like, this area is really not a snow wonderland, a winter wonderland throughout the winter. It usually looks like this. So it's kind of weird, and you think, oh, it's always cold. No, it bounces around.
Like this.
So it's bizarre. I mean, when you actually go back and say, this is how winter is always supposed to be, and you look back and it's not really that, it's like, okay.
So the good old days aren't necessarily the good old days when it comes to the winter. But it does stick out, the major snow events, just like any memory though, right? It's
sure, yeah.
It's the things that are out of the normal, right?
Yeah,
and those major snow events are obviously out of the normal. So
right, yeah. And the major snows, the major colds, but we never think about the major warms. We never say, oh, remember back that winter we had that 70-degree day?
Unless you're mowing on Christmas. That always sticks out.
Right, well, yeah, that's true. But so to the point I'm going to try to get is everyone's saying, when's our next snow day? I said, give me time. It might be February. I don't know. And this was hanging on me because I was the one saying it was going to be a cold, hard winter.
Yeah.
Where's it at? And I'm really getting frustrated about this. And fortunately, I'm not the only forecaster who has seen the trends and get slapped in the face by Mother Nature saying, nope, I ain't going to do it yet. Does that mean it's coming? It certainly could. I mean, we could have a very wicked March for all we know. We've had bad Marches, just cold and snowy Marches. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's just like, where's this cold and hard winter at? maybe it's just waiting. I don't know. It's just.
But
it's
in the
just
near future, do you see it in there though? Do you see it in the back half of January? Is there any change, or is it still going to be this up and down kind of flow?
Well, I've always said there's got to be a blizzard on the third week of January for other reasons. So, but it's starting to show up.
Okay.
maybe on the tail end of when I come back.
Mm-hmm.
So, but nonetheless, I think the closer we get to February, I think we're finally going to see this kick in because, it's got to. it's like I mean, but if you see some of the I could get into a lot of technical terms and stuff like that. It is showing that wave, that big wave, is starting to come back towards colder. So, yeah, I think into January we're definitely going to get back to more normal winter conditions. So,
yeah,
because it's still it's only the first full week of school.
January's back in school.
Because everyone wasn't back quite all the way last week yet.
Right.
So we need a few more days for people to get tired of school before we have a snow day kick in. So.
Well, especially the extreme cold. We went through a patch last year because of the wind chill. There are a few of those days, but I believe that was in February. So to your point, winter still can kick butt later in winter.
Yeah,
I mean, mid.
Yeah, don't feel like just because it hasn't happened yet, it's not going to now. And I've seen sometimes where the earlier the snow is, the later the cold comes later. I've seen that sometimes. I've never been able to say that is actually a trick of the trade, but it's weird how winter will do its thing. So, but
bugs is a concern though. We'll bring up though because we have seen a trend in like bug repellent and bug killer because of the Asian beetles. So they're still kind of lingering around, especially when you have these 50 and 60 degree days.
Yep.
So that has been an interesting trend over the past 4 or 5 days that I've seen at the store of people interested in back well ahead of schedule when we normally see it. Right.
That is
because of those Asian beetles.
Yeah. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they'll come out and then he'll come a cold blast and wipe them out too. Who knows?
Let's hope.
Let's hope, yeah, because those things are a nuisance. Yeah, I was cooking for Christmas and they were trying to bug me and decided to be master chefs with me. I said no, get out of here. So, but anyway, going back to our forecast again. So today, rainy day. Tomorrow. Sunshine again, and then another storm come in on Sunday or Saturday. Cool off on the weekend on Sunday, back into below freezing, and then again the roller coaster again. That's kind of said. What I said, it could be a roller coaster kind of year. So anyway, but an interesting start to 2026. No, now before you ask, the forecaster fell asleep on New Year's Eve, so there will be no onion test personally conducted.
Well, last year didn't turn out too well.
Last year didn't turn out anywhere, but I'm asking some other older gentlemen who I trust very much to tell me their indications of it. So I think they actually have the green thumb, rather I have a brown thumb. So,
and we need to find some for spring. Like a lot of them lean into like a whole year precipitation or the winter. Is there one for spring, like an old wives' tale, to let you know, the last snow or the last frost? What's the frog one? You had one for frogs last year.
The frogs, they have to look through the ice or after the they have to look through ice 3 times before it stops. I can't remember what that is. The first time they croak, the first time you hear them, they have to see through ice 3 times.
Gotcha.
So it freezes over. If you have thunder in January, the creeks are out in May. I think that's one. I have to look that one up again. Or I think that's one of them. Yeah. So basically, if you have a lot of basically a active season. So, but so you have to look that one up too. So
yeah, we'll have to do some research for next time.
Because we're going to have some little rumbles in the next few days. So we're going to have fun for that. So, but yeah, so I'll look into some wives' tales but glad to be back in 2026.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice weather. I can't complain right now. I'd rather not have snow than have snow, but I know you enjoy the colds.
I almost did it. Yeah.
We're now just getting out of the holiday season, so people are trying to get their lives back together, their schedules back to normal, and again, now we're going to start seeing a bunch more non-holiday related events coming up, and we're going to start telling you about some of the ones.
Downcountry, a local nonprofit supporting individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities, is inviting the community to dress up and step out for the 15th annual Rhinestones in Rodeo on Saturday, January 10th at the Ambience in Quincy. The evening begins at 5 p.m. and features live and silent auctions, dinner, music, dancing, and an open bar, all in a country black tie atmosphere that blends boots, rhinestones, and a night to feel special, while proceeds support training, education, and awareness programs that help create a more inclusive tri-state community.
The Great River Eagle Days Winter Gathering returns January 24th and 25th. It's a unique event that our community is truly proud of, honoring Native American traditions through sacred ceremonies, music, dance, and education. Highlights include performances by John Skinador and Randy Falcon, hoop dancer Clifton Hall, head dancers Corey Chavez and Shante Falcon, and the Thunder Valley Drums, along with live raptor displays, native vendors, fry bread, and Indian tacos, and hands-on activities for children. Sounds like a really busy weekend coming up on January 24th and 25th. And the Sunday event will feature the Blessing of the Eagle ceremony at 11 o'clock, followed by the Grand Entry honoring veterans at noon. Attendees are encouraged to take advantage of all of the eagle watching then at Lock and Dam 21. And of course, we're very fortunate here in our area. We have a very nice location to safely view the bald eagles right here in our backyard down at Lock and Dam 21.
Tickets are now on sale for Forever Plaid, coming to the Black Box Theater at Quincy Community Theater, February 6th through the 8th. This harmony-driven musical comedy is a funny, heartfelt throwback to the golden age of the 1950s vocal groups. It's part satire, part love letter, following 4 earnest singers given one last chance to perform the concert they never got to finish. Packed with tight vocals, goofy charm, humor, and heart, the intimate Black Box setting offers limited seating, so patrons are encouraged to purchase tickets early at 1qct.org or by calling the QCT box office at 217-222-3209. My good friend Dominic Regner is in that, so go check it out.
Muddy River Sports is bringing the heat to the high school basketball regular season with the Superfan Shootout 2-day event hosted by Quincy Notre Dame, featuring 11 total games and some of the best boys and girls teams in both states. The shootout tips off Friday, February 6th and runs through Saturday, February 7th, delivering some cross-state matchups and high-energy competition to make their teams their final push towards postseason play, top programs, packed schedules, and a gym full of basketball superfans. This showcase is made possible by us, Muddy River Sports. Also, our friends at Pizza Ranch, which is going to be here pretty soon. They're starting to get their sponsorships in before their doors are even open. We thank them for that. A strong lineup of other local sponsors as well will help Quincy Notre Dame become the place for high school hoops this weekend. Make that weekend on February 6th and February 7th. It's still a month away, but again, we want to tell you what's going on around here.
This weekend, we have free admission and concession opportunities with our friends from Action Brown County as they enter their last weekend of the season at the rink. Get your ice skates and enjoy a delicious hot chocolate in downtown Mount Sterling. Thank you to Action Brown County for your support of our locally owned news source.
And when you go skating, be careful. We don't want you to hurt yourself, but I've seen some people who are pretty good skaters around here, so they know how.
It's not me.
I would not be one of those either, no. But have fun in Brown County this weekend. So that is all the time we have for this edition of Muddy River Mornings, driven by Hess Auto Agency. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.